Now, with preparation and organization completed, the task of transforming theory into reality was assigned to the 8th American Air Force, based somewhere in England, and the 15th Air Force, based somewhere in Italy. Early in the morning of June 2nd, crews of bomber and fighter commands of the 15th Air Force were assembled to be briefed for a special mission. A special mission for pilots, navigators, bombardiers, and gunners. And finally, a special word of farewell from Major General Twining, Commanding General of the 15th Air Force.
I do not have to impress you with the importance of this mission to the Russian bases. I'm sure you are fully aware of this important event. I would like to mention one thing about which you must be very particular. That is your conduct while at these Russian bases. Be soldierly and neat at all times. The Russian is a fine soldier who appreciates results and one who does not understand big talk. Wish you the best of luck. Goodbye.
At 0600 hours, the bombers took off. With Lieutenant General Ira C. Aker, Commanding General of the Mediterranean Allied Air Forces, in personal command of the task force, the fortresses left the ground with clockwork precision. One fort every 30 seconds. At 0630 hours, their fighter escort followed them into the air. 70 planes in 17.5 minutes. At 0730 hours, the bombers and the first relay of fighters made rendezvous over the Adriatic, and Titanic 1 was on its way. If the shuttle route to Russia was equally practical from England, was now to be proved by the 8th Air Force. 0100 hours, the morning of June 21st. Somewhere in England, Titanic 2. At 0530 hours, the heavily loaded bombers took off into the fog of an English dawn. 24 minutes later, the first group was in the air, heading northeast to the task force assembly point. At 0800 hours, 2 by 2, the last relay of fighters left the ground. At 0930 hours, flying fortresses and Mustangs made rendezvous high over the German coast, and Titanic 2 was on its way. At 1200 hours, it dropped its bombs on the Ruland oil fields and continued to its new bases somewhere in Russia. That is why on June 2nd, and again on June 21st, American planes did not return to their bases somewhere in Italy or England. For on each of those days, their mission was still unfinished. In a sense, it had only begun.
$1,500 hours. What was left of our target was a good 3 hours behind us. But we were still in enemy skies, and we could see the P-51s that were escorting us all the way in, prowling in the skies above. They called us Big Friend. We called them Little Friend. And it was a very pleasant feeling to have them around. About 1600 hours, we saw our red-nosed little friends pull away. A couple of minutes later, our navigator, the little man with the big maps, made with the instruments, and gave us the good word.
Navigator to crew, navigator to crew. It won't be long now. We're over Russia.
Over Russia. From the sky, all countries look alike. But this was friendly country. That meant no more flak, no danger of interception. Solid ground, not too far away. It meant a new country, a new people. A lies we'd heard about, read about, but never seen. How do you get along with people you can't even talk to? Would we like them? Would they like us?
To greet the task force are General Walsh and General Permanov, the American and Russian COs.
Coming in, Base X looked like any other American airfield. Neat rows of GI tents. Runways dotted with P-17s. Ground crews at the edge of the field, their faces to the sky. One difference, though, the ruins all around the base. A silent reminder that enemy boots had marched in two directions here quite recently.